Are we all right to start?
Yes, fine.
Right. So, a warm welcome to all our viewers joining us live today and to those with us on Zoom here now. I'm Sumana, your host, joining you on behalf of Hallam International Educators. And today we are exploring a thought provoking question. It is project based learning just a trend or a necessary shift in primary education? So, this is a topic that's sparking global conversation, and we are thrilled to bring you insights from our team member Nwe here in this field. So, we'll kick things off with some powerful statistics about how many schools globally are embracing PBL and why some are still hesitant. So, the fear factor around adopting new methods is real, and we are here to break it down today. So, Nue, today we'll be answering three key questions that reflect the very heart of this debate today. I'll be popping in to ask these questions and spark some global discussion in between. So, we also have a chance for you, our participants, to share your thoughts. And before we begin, here's a quick memory jog. So let's think back to our school days. Was your learning experience more about textbooks or tests or the teamwork and real life challenges? So let's see how things are changing, and we can begin now by understanding the foundations. What exactly is project based learning? Thanks for joining us, Nube. Do you want to help us understand the basics? What exactly is PBL?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. Actually, like project-based learning is a kind of the teaching method where the student have to learn actively engaging in the project that is meaningful and connected to the real-world problems. And instead of listening to the teachers or the memorizing the facts from the textbook, the student have to explore the question first, and then they have to investigate the problem, and they have to collaborate with peers and create the final project or the presentation. These projects can last anywhere from the few days to the several weeks, but sometimes like there's some school they take like the 1 to 2 months. It depends on the school. So for example, rather than learning about the water cycle from the worksheet, the student might be asked to design a water conservation plan for their school. So all these students, they have to research first. So before they research, they have to make the problem question what they really want to do, and then they're gonna research based on their question, and then they have to interview the expert. So if they are doing the water conservation plan, they have to really meet in the expert in that area. After that, they have to collect the data, and all these things done, they have to present their finding. It's just like we do the dissertation, but it's just like the mini dissertation, but they have to collect every single data and do the presentation in public.
Right.
So in PBL, students are not just learning about the content, they are using what they have learned to do something meaningful.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nuveen. Thanks for that clear explanation. So maybe now let's go deeper. And our first big question is this. So what distinguishes project-based learning from the traditional teaching methods? And why might it represent more than just a trend?
Yes, actually, traditional teaching methods tend to be the teacher center. So, it is like we just focus on the national curriculum. The teacher have to deliver the content, and students they have to listen, they have to take notes, and the learning is like they mostly measure by how will student memorize the facts on the text. So they have to do the standardized text like exam.
Yep.
But in contrast, project-based learning is student center. So because it is like totally different from the our traditional method. It focuses on the inquiry, critical thinking, and collaboration, and they have to apply the knowledge in the real context. Students have to work on the problem, but they don't have just only one answer. For example, they are just finding, like I told you, it's just like our finding the doing the
Yeah.
dissertation. They are they don't have only one answer. So maybe like in the end they might have a different answer. Although they have the different answer, they have to show what they have done throughout their project period. So it must develop the solution, communicate the idea, so reflect on their learning. So it's mean like that these method built on the 21st century skill like creativity, communication, and teamwork. Of course, like they have to do in group and problem solving. And so normally like these are the traditional method often overlooked. So why must PBL be more than a trend? So it's because it's reflect a deeper shift in education purpose. So we are preparing the children not just to pass the tags. So we
Mm,
are focusing to navigate the complex world that require the adaptability and lifelong learning. So it's mean like PBL is not just like the new teaching for, it's a response to the evolving needs of the societies and workforce.
right, all right. So I think we would be loving to hear from someone in the participant side. Have you guys ever implemented a project in your class or your school? And what could be the impact in that? So anybody can feel free to drop it in the chat or you can raise your hands for that.
Sumana, I think I would love to go ahead.
Hi,
It's me,
Monica.
Monica. Yeah. So,
Hello.
yeah, I you can see me, right?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
can see you. Yeah.
Nive, yeah, I think this is a bit, for this Gen Z kids, I think this would be easier, or to get their attention, or you could say the focus, like the project-based learning, rather than the rote learning of the teacher, giving the content, making them memorize it, which they wouldn't like to. So, I think in IB, that is International Book Credit, it is something regarding like this. For example, I have taken as example of bar graphs, talking about the graphs. So I have asked them to go collect the birthdays or like the favorite colors of their family members and then draw it. I hope this comes under a project based learning. I'm just connecting the dot because I never gave it a name like project based, but they were actively participating and they're interacting with their family members and their friends and all to get the data collected. So does this come under the project based learning, Nive? I'm just clarifying my doubt.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually like I've been working as a PBL school like for 3 years. So actually like in the beginning also like I have some confusion, but Monica, it is total quite similar, but like systematically the project based learning is like they have a rubric for that, and then they have to take time, but not just only 1 or 2 weeks. When I started doing the PBL, like I thought like it's just only I can finish this project only 1 or 2. It is not like that. So because like they have to take at least 4 weeks, 4 week planning, and then started from that like you're doing the bar graph. So at the end, what they really want to find out, they have to start at the question. After that, maybe they have to make the real data. Maybe like how many like for example like how many student people in this school like for example the yellow color, if I give you the simple example, so they have to collect all the data. So if they make the more data, so they can show you in the bar graph, or not only in the bar graph, and they can show you with the pie chart or everything, because like that they already learned these concepts in the textbook, but they are now applying in the real world, or after they have done. So like that they show with the bar graph, pie chart, and then grade everything. And in the end, after they have collected all the data, so in the end they have to do the presentation about that. So big data to the small data. After that, in the group, I told you like that they have to do in group, but some student they can make the grab, but like the some student they collect the data, they have to some it's so like the big on based on their weakness and their strengths, so they have to make the project. This is how the PBL go. Yeah, thank you.
Right.
That was
So
interesting. Yeah.
thanks, Monica. So even I had this question away to you. So is it like play-based and PBL? Is it the same, one and the same?
It is not the same because like the play based like they don't have rubric but PBL has rubric. So because
Right.
the most difficult part is the rubric because like I also I have to learn to make the rubric for the PBL because it like the standardized tests we just have like when they get this like answer they got the point, but for the PBL they have a very strong rubric, so teacher have to assess throughout the project time. This is the most important first step. That's
Mm,
why like, for the teacher also it's really difficult for them. They have to check their work in group every day teacher is giving the math, so teacher have to take record for the every student. So it is busier than the like for teacher it is busier than the normal assessment. And then for the presentation day also teacher have to take the rubric again. There are two types of rubric: project rubric and the presentation rubric. So by combining everything, so like they pass the test. So it is not that much easy because like in the exam, if we want to know like the student can make the bar graph or the pie chart, they just ask the question and they have to calculate or doing that. But in presentation, teacher also likes the shooting the question. So that
mm,
if the student cannot answer, so like the teacher detect the mark. It's me like they just do the work. Sometimes that some students they are not doing it very well in group, so in the
yeah.
presentation time only they just participate. So the student can make the full to teacher like that because like the teacher had daily work after that, and by combining the presentation math, so they pass the exam. Actually, like they pass the task. So like
Right.
it is a little bit different from the playbacks.
Okay. Thanks, Nwe. So in that case, the individual outcome and the uh, group outcomes, is it been balanced there?
Yeah, it's actually like normally like we have that kind of issue because like we sometimes like individual outcomes and group outcome are actually not different because like teacher is checking every student. So for example, in this classroom, like the Mimi, Monica, and Sumana trio, you are working in group. So we know what Mimi do every day because we chat the work because we always ask, so Mimi, what you have done today? And then Sumana also have to tell like you have done, but you can tell what your friend haven't done. If for example, if Mimi hasn't done and she said I've done, so and the other group members they will see. And the teacher is checking. Or another one is the easiest sticker question. At the end of this class, so the teacher okay, you have done this one. So if you have done this one, so what you did and explain, so they have to show the work. So that's why like the student can't lie because the student have to show with the evidence. So that's why like the marks go with individually, not like the group work.
Got it. Got it. So in with that thing, I think we need to move to the next question. So it would be, how has this PBL changed the way that we think about student engagement? We see that mostly the students get engaged a lot with PBL, and what's up with the learning outcomes? Do you want to tell us, Nube?
Yes, actually, Project-based learning is transform the student engagement by making the learning relevant and active. The student become the motivated because they see the purpose of their work. Actually, PBL, when they do PBL, we let the student choose on their own. Teacher is not choosing. The student have to choose on their own. For example, like there are 12 chapter in the text, so like maybe to cover all these, and maybe like for example if I say like max, so addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then like the bar graph, so they have to combine all these things in this project. So that's why they cover most of the context in the textbook. So that's why students choose their own topic. That's why like they see they become more motivated because they see the purpose of their work, and they are not just like doing the text for the grade. They are solving the real world problem that really matters. And so this approach also encourages curiosity and responsibility and persistence. Of course, like it takes times because, like, for example, it just only like 1 day. They just finish only 1 hour, 2 hour. But for this work, they have to take time for at least a month. So it's also allowing the student with a different learning style and strengths. Whether they either at the recess. Sometimes some students are either at recess, some students are good at words, so some are good at presentation. So based on their strengths, so they have to combine all these things. So research show that the PBL improve the long-term retention of the knowledge because students connect the concepts to the meaningful experiences. So it's also promote the higher order thinking skill as well. So learning outcomes expand the beyond the facts and the figure to include the communication, collaboration, and reflection. So people make the learning more engaging and dynamic process rather than the passive memorization.
Right. So did you just say in a way that student is going to choose something?
Yeah, students have to choose their own topic. Yes, that's correct. So
Hmm.
for example, like even like the science, they have to choose their own topic. It is the most difficult part of the PBL. So teacher can choose on their own, but teacher can guideline what they really want to do. So because like for example, like I have seen the student from the year 4 max, like they are just they are learning like the area or the square. So what student decide is they are making the bird house. Okay, so
Hmm.
this bird house is like when they have to recreate the bird house in real, and then to make the birdhouse, of course, like they have to measure the area and then measure the length. So after that, they have to calculate everything in detail. So the question will be how to build the birdhouse or something like that. This is a title question. So after that, based on that question, so they are just doing step by step. So firstly, like maybe like they are started measuring like the length. After that, they have to add. After that, they have to multiply and then find the area, everything. So it's I told you like it's cover addition, multiplication, and the area and like the measuring length, everything. So in science also the same. So as I told you like for the water conservation projects or something like that,
Hmm.
so they have to do the data everything in Myanmar's in our language as well. So in English also they when they do the storytelling, everything we can do in the PBL. So for example, normally like for English, what I remember is they are just doing kind of like play storytelling or something like that. So although they do the play the storytelling, like the teacher focus on the grammar, and then the teacher asks the flow of these story and the play. So in the end, when the teacher point out the question based on their project, so the teachers can evaluate the students, and the student also they are really happy about that because they choose their own topic. Teacher is
Yeah.
not yeah.
I mean, this engagement is really interesting, like
Yeah,
from
it's really
student
interesting.
perspective. Yeah, but then the thing is, the risk is with the teacher to allot everything.
Yeah, because like for example, like project-based learning, like it's really difficult to do in the public school because like I work as a private school, that's why they can manage
Oh,
it. But it
okay.
is not popular in UK as well. But in US, Australia is quite popular because my former academic director, she is live in US, so she is a secondary head of the PBL school. That's why she give me training for the whole year. So that's why I also like I got lots of experience about that. I trying to apply in UK school, but they follow only national curriculum. But
Yeah.
if you want to do the PBL, like you have to plan the syllabus on their own. Like you have their curriculum should be independent, and then
Hmm.
the founder, students, parents, teacher, everyone have to believe the results of PBL. I think like
Right.
of course my students, so they can move to the other school like the Singapore, US, and everywhere, because like they just pass with the PBL exam. I think they can apply it. But like I said, I think it really difficult to change everything if they don't experience about PBL.
Yeah, that's right. I'm unsure about India as well. It's not completely, practically implemented so far, like completely. It's partially. What do you think, Monica? Monica, do we have it in IB or
Yeah,
IGCSE?
it
I see it partially. I don't see
Yeah,
it fully.
partially
Yeah.
only. I think it is up to the primary grade, Sumana, maybe up till
Hmm.
year five. This is like, project-based learning. Yeah, it's a good thing. I would like to talk to one of the student joined, and his name is Rudraksh. He's my nephew, and he's from Philippines. So, Rudraksh, I would just like to know like how the studies goes in there, and we are talking about the project-based learning. Have you ever been assigned anything as such project by any of the teacher for you, Rudransh? Rudraksh?
Excuse me, what was the question again?
Okay, we are talking about the project-based learning. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like, do you understand like how the teacher would be giving will, or you might choose a question. For example, I have given, like when I was teaching mathematics for a year three children, I was doing bar graphs and charts, so where there was data collection, and then we need to analyze the data and then draw the bar chart. So I have asked my children to go and collect the data, like if for example, like it's what's your favorite color, like favorite color in your whole family and the friends, and gather the data, how many people like blue color or red color, and then age wise, like how what, like for example, like 10 to 11 10 to 15 years old, how much what color do they prefer. So like that they have got the data in, and they have sat with their friends in a group, and they represented it in the form of bar graph, like like colors and age. You can do it like has in Philippines, like we don't know, because I have taught in India, and my friend, like what she was saying, that this project based learning is famous only in like US and Australia. So I was just curious like how the studies are in Philippines. So could you please tell us?
In the Philippines, most of it, like most of the high grade, like most of the assignments that are like for big grades, it's mostly projects here. There's like lots of
Hmm.
performance outputs. There's like art for even in math, you have to illustrate some things.
Okay, so this seems to be a project-based learning then, but that's what we were been discussing about, like it has to be like an illustration, or like a presentation by the child where the teacher could, actually know how much he or she has understood the concept. Oh, this is, can you just give us one example, Rudraksh, please?
Right. Okay. So I remember back before in grade 8, I had this project where I had to like illustrate different like algebraic equations on like an illustration board, and then I'd use colors and markers.
Okay,
Okay.
so you have to illustrate the algebraic expression using the marker pens.
Mm.
Apart from that, any other something in English or science?
In science, yeah, there's like this diagram we drew of like the body.
But sorry.
So it was no actual interaction of you with any of the people around, like your friends or the families, right? So was there
Yeah.
anything like talking to them and getting any information from them?
I had to contact them and I interacted with them to finish it.
Oh,
All
that
right.
is interesting.
I think it's even I think similarly, Monica, I see it in IGCSE as well, even in the IB as well, partially. Yeah, they do. So, well, I think here comes the next question with this. Thank you so much, Rudraksh, for that. And we have the next question with this. It is, what challenges might schools face in adopting PBL? So because we don't see completely implemented in schools, it's partially implemented in Indian curriculums, though I'm talking about. And how can they be addressed to make it a lasting change?
Wait,
Do you want
wait.
to share
What?
some insights? So,
Sorry. What was the thing again? What implementing? I
so
didn't
this
hear.
is, yeah, Rudraksh,
Mm.
this question is for all of us to discuss. So the question is, what challenges might schools face in adopting PBL? So as you was telling, even in India, it's partially been implemented. So what challenges might schools face in adopting PBL completely, and how can they be addressed to make it a lasting change? Do you want to share something with us, Nwe?
Yes, very good evening to all of you, to all the participants in the program. This is Vikram here. I
Hi,
hope,
good evening, sir.
yeah, good evening, very good evening. I hope you can, yeah, I've been participating this particularly for the last 5 to 10 minutes. Now I'm able to get you. This is my first participation, so
Sure,
very
thank
good
you so
evening
much.
again, once again. Yeah, I've understood the basic point here about the project-based curriculum. Yes, that's what you've been discussing about. Previously, the madam who spoke has spoke very well. So I really appreciate her for her wonderful efforts. And even Madam, you also, Madam Sumana also, I really appreciate you on this regard, in this regard. And yeah, project-based curriculum, it's not a new one, but actually it has to be developed in India as well. What you have told is absolutely right. Only few of the schools are taking up that. That is basically international schools. That's what they themselves call as. But the basic schools, like your government schools and other private schools, they are not concentrating on this project based. Probably there where the students, they are basically, mug up, like they're mugging up the particular subjects, and they're not able to understand the basic concept of that particular subject or that particular lesson which they have been taught. Unless until this project based is not introduced in India, tomorrow this will cause lot of you know they might lack in different aspects compared to other students from the international school.
Right,
This needs to be, highlighted at not only at this particular small group or limited group, rather I could say, not small. It should be taken up on a very large scale, and you need to include all the other mothers, that is parents, basically. Parents from different backgrounds, have to be, introduced into this particular session. And separate session also has to be, introduced where they can, like, for example, why I'm telling you is, now you spoke to Rudraksh. Rudraksh was not able to, understand that what is the project based. Well, we can understand he's only a ninth or 10th grade, maybe that we can understand. Even before Rudraksh was studying in Philippines, he was studying in Dubai. So even there also, the particular schools might not have introduced this project based, because I never came across what you have just now told about how the project based are. But one aspect I remember is that when my daughter was studying in around third or fourth grade, what they have done is they were asking the students to come in one particular color, wearing one particular color.
hmm,
That particular students used to come in that particular color to their school, whatever the dress is, the complete dress that they have to wear on the days. For example, green color, and the other students they would be wearing it yellow color. So each group would be wearing different colors. So the class would be divided into different um, sections, and these sections they would be wearing different colors, and then there will be that day entirely they will be talking about that color, and they will be discussing about various aspects pertaining to environment and everything. So this is also one way of, we can call it as a project based only, which was introduced. So what you have actually taken up, I really feel that it has to be, taken up on a larger
Implemented.
scale,
Yeah.
not in a limited scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. It was very insightful. And yes, we are discussing about that. What challenges usually, schools might come up or face with. So if you guys want to share some of your thoughts about it, Nwe, do you want to say something?
Yes.
One more aspect.
Yes,
Yeah,
please. Yes, please.
yeah. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
It's all right.
Uh,
Do you want to tell us something?
I would like to listen. Thank you.
Yeah, there's one more aspect which I would like to give an insightfulness is basically it is the
only girl, no small.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ madam, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ.
Right.
Yes, madam.
Yes,
Divya,
please go
could you
ahead.
please mute? Please, yeah,
Yeah,
Divya.
yeah. This basically, the project based also need to be introduced to the teachers who are newly getting recruited in their particular curriculum. That is very important for us to understand. That is those teachers who are actually pursuing their teacher career, who are taking training in the teacher's career. They need to first of all be introduced. How many of them have been introduced here, or how many of them have been brought into this particular program? That is very important. Why? Because those people, if they are, introduced this project, how this project based work theory runs, how that would be helpful. And if you give some insight about that particular theory, whatever the program which you are actually discussing about, only then when they enter into the schools, they will try to, inculcate to the curriculum. Otherwise, that is what I'm trying to tell you, that the new generation, whatever Gen X or Gen Z you say, they need to be introduced this one. The older generation, the millennia will never be able to understand this. Why? Because they are not tech savvy. They are very worried about the particulars. How if we, it's very hard to change. So you need to hit the roots directly. So the roots they generally starts from when they take the training of the teachers post, or teachers basically they are undergoing the training. So if they are being taught, if they are brought into this particular program, if they are introduced into this program, I am sure that the future that is next coming 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, when they come out of and when they join into the mainstream, whether it be when they start taking up the classes for the primary section or even for the secondary grade section or even to the higher grade sections, then they will be able to take up these things, and the children would come and they will understand easily. And majority of the problem is maths. The major problem is with the math students, students pertaining to the maths, studying maths and science.
Yeah.
Well, I vaguely remember, when I was studying in grade 8th, I've been asked to do project works. These project works, as what you are now talking, like project based, this was not that kind of thing. Only
Got
thing
it.
was we were asked to collect different kinds of leaves, that is from different trees, plants, and everything, and then we have to mention their names. That was the only project work which I have done when I was when I was in grade 8. That's maybe somewhere about 92, 93, 1993, which I'm right now talking about. Basically, I'm from a government central school. Well, that was a very CBSE background, so definitely it had a wonderful curriculum as well. But private schools at that time, I believe they were only concentrating basically how to take their take the name of their school forward, not to take the improve the standard of that boy or a girl.
Hmm.
See, the concept is wherever we are, whatever we are, not only the name of the school should be raised to the higher level, but also the standard of the student also should be raised equal. Only then that boy will grow up, or girl will grow up, and they would also come up with these type of ideas which you have come, Madam Suman.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think I am
Thank
going in a
you.
long manner.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, no,
no, no,
very well
no.
explained. Very well
Yes.
explained, actually. And you rightly hit the point about the teachers training. That's where we were streaming into. That is very important in the PBL. That's where teachers are actually struggling and schools are really facing that difficulty to implement completely as a people. And that was very insightful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And that is one of the biggest challenge, like when Sumana's question was like, what do you think the challenge when we do the project based learning? So this you have given a very beautifully that example of, like, it is just project is just not just collecting the leaves and sticking it, and then the teacher should have asked you to illustrate it, the differences between the different kind of the leaves and all, and what did you learn, and then adding it up to, is it a deciduous or it's an evergreen tree? So I think, yeah, so the biggest challenge is the teacher training in the project based learning, what exactly it is and how they can implement it. And one more challenge I would say is the number of students in the classroom, Sumana. Anyway,
Mm.
I think like in India, it is like a minimum would be in a secondary school would be like 45 students. Unlike in the private school where it is only to 20 to 22 students. So I think the student strength in a classroom would be a challenge for a teacher if she is alone. And as usual, there should be a teaching assistant, which I've been saying, like teaching
Yeah.
assistant is very
Yeah.
important for this new generation kids. And yes, there should be a change in the way the classrooms are. And mainly the teacher based, that's what we got it. The main most challenge is the teachers has to learn how the Gen Z kids are tech savvy, like how Mr. Vikram has been telling. Yeah, kids are very tech savvy, let's take the advantage of that, and then let's include that in the curriculum.
Right.
So
That's right, Monica. Yeah. Thank you so much. So, would anyone like to share a concern you have faced or heard about implementing PBL? Like, you can type it out or you can unmute for a moment, or Nwe, if you want to take it up from there.
I just have two questions for Nwe. It's not
Yes,
the
please,
concept.
Nwe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Uh, the first question I was thinking is, how about the age group? When would be the best time to start project based learning thing? Because if you talk to the younger children, it might be a little different, I guess. I don't know. I don't know whether you have that experience or not. Another question is, when you said that children have the um, autonomy to choose whatever the topic they like. So let's say there are 20 kids in class, and then maybe one of them decided to have total different topic from other people, other students. How would that look like? It doesn't make that one student to work as a team and also communicate with others, right? Because sometimes when children have that sort of freedom, they would just say, I want to do this alone. I don't want to be with anybody else. So in that case, how would we deal with that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really great question. Like you really give me the great question, and then I have experience about both of the question. So first question is like when student can start the project-based learning, like they can start from the year one. Year one, like 6 years, like after kindergarten, like they can start from the year one, but like and so these are very small, so that's why like I said the things that they want to do also it will be very small, so based on their age level,
Mm.
so the difficulty of the project will be changed. They can start from the year one. Another question is, yeah, I forget to tell you one fact. It's just because like the you're a little bit confused about that, but I mentioned about they have to do in group. For example, in the class, if there are 20 students in the class, so sometimes like the some come to like the four in the one group, so it will be four in the one group. There might be the five group. Okay, so these five group, so they have to choose their own topic, so they have to negotiate with their five friends. So most of them they can negotiate, but if one is standing out and I don't want to do with them, I want to do the project alone. At the
Mm.
time, that student have autonomy to do it alone, but that student
Mm.
have to handle the projects alone. But because like that, he said like he or she will say, I don't want to do it other. This is my topic. That but if the other student want to like negotiate with that guy, yeah, of course they can do that one. But like that one can't negotiate with any other. If they want to do alone, yeah, they can do. But I told you like the PBA there is a rubric. In rubric like that, there is a kind of like that we give them mark for the group work. That student can't got the mark for the group work.
Mm.
Yeah. So and then like the the Mr. Vikran said like giving training to the teacher is really important, because like I said when I got to that PBL school, we also have the given the like that we also got the training for us every year, every man we have to get the extra time. For example, if I have to attend for the 5 school day, I have to get the one more day to attend for the PBL training. So because it is not very easy, because I also like I grew up with the government education. Also like I attend the and graduate from the education university, but like I don't have that experience also. And then this one is a new method, and the school that I used to work with is like this one is the very first PBL school in Burma. That's why I also like that I need training a lot. And another one is plugs, not only teacher but also the parents also. We need to give the like we need to educate the parent as well. So that's why normally what we do it in our school before we start the BBS since the beginning. So we there and we make the like the how we have to make the presentation about the PBO as well. So like how we are our school assessment, how we are doing, how we get the training, how the student have the autonomy. So and they have teacher, all the parent have to make the consent about that. So that's why very important. All the student, all the parent, they have to get the consent. Every single parents. So that's why all one everyone agrees. So like so we can start the PBL, and that's why like they already know the rubric. That's why I told you like the student who is standing out and who want to do alone, yeah, they can do, but they already know that they won't cut mark for the crew work, because like the, we are giving the training for the negotiation, the like the collaborating with the
Mm.
others. Yeah.
Yes. Mm.
Hmm. That's interesting, isn't it? I mean,
Mm.
yeah,
Because
but
teachers should be trained when it comes to assessment. We can't just walk in and assess, right?
hmm,
It's okay
Yes,
to have a
yes.
rubric and then have them link with the learning. But then when it comes to assessment, it makes sense. Thank you, Nwe.
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mimi. So, Nue, due to the time concern that we are almost there, but quickly we need to be jumping into this question. Like, how do you think about this controversial question that we started with? Is project-based learning just a trend or a necessary shift?
So if I show you with the like the physical data, but actually it also you can read it out on the Google. But like I said, just briefing, like based on the data, like uh like the students, lots of students, they show the positive effect on the academic achievement, especially in the science and the social study. And the United States also, like that, they made the study conducted in the like the high poverty primary school, found that the second grade student who learned through the PBL school, this 8% point higher than in the social study, 23% more progress in the reading comprehension compared to those in the traditional classroom. And then another major study involving 2,300 third grade students across 46 schools reported that people's students achieved the 8 point higher than in the science test at the end of the year. And another one is like the further school-based evidence. I also like that I worked in the PBS school for 3 years. At the time, I really don't believe the student, like the student result. So but I we tracks our writer, and then at the end of the years, and then I see the transformation of the student. The students, like, because like our my school, like there is not like like this is not the privileged international school. It's just like the very small private school. But after the year, what I see is their presentation style, everything. The student, they come from the lower middle class, but like most of them, they come to the overseas, and they can easily get the admission from the school from the abroad. So that's why like these are the evidence that I see within 3 years. So it's mean like beyond these task goals, the PBO's books, the engagement, collaboration, and motivation. So and then review over the 50 studies show consistent improvements in this area essential for the deeper learning and the 21st century skill. So all over the data clearly support that the PBL is not just only affected, it is transformed in the primary education. I'm just focusing on the primary education, but actually we can apply in secondary education as well. In our school, like both primary and secondary, we just use only the PBL. But when they go to the IGCSE, of course, like they have the standard. We can't skip that. That's why, and finally, we have to follow that. And so the result of the study showed that compared with the traditional teaching model, project-based learning significantly improved the student learning outcomes and positively contribute to the academic achievement and their attitude as well, and their thinking skill and the collaboration skill, especially, and the academic achievement as well. So what I want to say is like it's move education beyond the memorizing towards the preparing to the young learner to think critically, collaborate, and then solving the real world problem. So if you ask me that question, my answer is it should be a necessary shift rather than a trend. But our task now is not to question whether PBA will last, but we can thoughtfully adopt and support it to benefit to all the students. Thank you.
That's great. Got it.
There
So
is
that
one more aspect which I would like to add here, what ma'am was just speaking about, particularly about the ma'am has put one particular question at what grade or what age the PB based theory assignments have to be started. And the answer given was at probably the kindergarten, after kindergarten only, that this has to be introduced. Yes, it's a very good idea. Basically, one is since if it is a new concept, yes, if it is introduced from the beginning, that is new concept, not only new concept for that particular school, it has to be introduced from the beginning. That is first aspect. And the second aspect is if the student or the students, they come forward saying that they want to go alone, that is not permissible, right? Why? Because basically this project based, if they are made into four or a group of five or six, whatever, basic on the number, this is basically to raise the team spirit. This is essential among the students to if they are bonding together, then definitely that particular project, whichever they have been assigned, that will come out with good good answers. That is most important. A single student, yes, he may be able to do it with the help of, ultimately, if you take up the students from the first grade or from the second grade, they definitely again go back to their parents and they lean upon their parents to take some kind of help ultimately. Um, but it is the students who have to come together and answer that particular point. And adding to all these things, I would like to bring it to your kind notice that in India now a new national educational policy has been, started, introduced recently from the year 2023. So 2023, 2024, this was actually announced in India. So this national educational policy, which I believe is going to bring some different kind of changes in the curriculum of all the schools and colleges as well. And even the government of India is also, trying to see that majority of the students are attending not only theory based, but right from their class 10th or 10th grade, whatever. Here we call it as class 10th in India. So immediately from class 10th onwards, they are teaching, skills pertaining to, different kinds of computer skills or whatever the skills are. Right from the beginning, they will be teaching. So this particular national policy also, I believe that the program head of this particular program need to, take it into consideration. Why? Because the changes are being taken up in India as well. It's not like old routine one. So thank you very much to all of you once again. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much for
so much.
sharing all your thoughts.
Yeah, and coming from a special district judge, it is
Wow.
really an honor to have you in this meet, really. And thank you so much, my family, my brother. But thank you so much because I know how hectic the life of a judge would be and going through all this, but still you have taken the
Thank
chance
you.
come and attend and give your very, very insightful, valuable uh, advices. We are really honored. Thank you so much, Mr.
Oh, that's
Vikram.
great. That's great.
Thank
I didn't
you.
know that. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing all your
Thank
thoughts.
you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
All right, so that brings us to the end of today's insightful session. So let's take a moment to reflect. Is PBL a passing trend or a transformational tool that's here to stay? So Nwe walked us through the data, real life examples, and some practical strategies. The takeaway is so clear. PBL is not just a method. I think it's a movement. Thank you so much, Nube. And to all of you who turned in today, your time, questions, and presence truly added the value. So, if this conversation sparked new ideas, we invite you to join us again for some more thoughtful, provoking sessions like this. So, together we can keep learning, innovating, and building better futures for our learners. So, thank you once again, and we'll see you in the next session. Thank you so much, Nove. Thank you, Mimi. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Vikas. Thank you,
Yeah,
Kavita. Thank you, Afia.
bye.
See you all soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.